If you are building your first WordPress site, chances are that you are committing one of these mistakes. The good news, most of them are very easy to fix. The bad news, some of them can cost you visitors, money, and a lot of frustration. In this video, I'll show you 7 most common WordPress mistakes beginners make, and most importantly, how to avoid them. And make sure you stay until the end, because mistake number 7 is probably the most common of all, and the one that prevents most websites from becoming successful. Let's start. Mistake 1. Installing too many plugins. One of the most common mistakes beginners make is installing too many plugins, which at first seems harmless. You install one plugin for contact forms, another one for SEO, another one for security, another one for analytics, another one for sliders, another one for pop-ups, another one because someone recommended it on YouTube. And before you know it, your website has 20 plugins installed. The problem is that every plugin adds some code to your website. Some plugins add CSS scripts. Some add database queries. Some of them load things in every page, even when you don't need those things. And little by little, your website becomes slower and less efficient. And don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that plugins are bad. Plugins are one of the best things about WordPress because they give your website functionality and flexibility. But every plugin should have a clear purpose. Before installing a plugin, you should ask yourself, do I really need this feature? Can WordPress already do this without the need of a plugin? Will this plugin slow down my site? Is this plugin still being updated? A simple WordPress site with 8 good plugins is mostly much better than a website with 40 random plugins. So the rule is simple. Don't install plugins just because they look interesting. Install them only when they solve a real problem. Remember, a plugin is not just a button. A plugin is code running inside your website. Mistake number 2. Not owning your domain. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a small business owner called, for example, John. John wants a website, but he doesn't know anything about WordPress, plugins, domains, installation. A friend of his, let's call him Mike, says, "Don't worry, I know how to create a WordPress website. I'll take care of everything." So Mike registers the domain, Mike buys the hosting, Mike creates the website, and everything works perfectly for a while. A year later, John's website is generating leads and bringing new customers every month. Then, one day, John wants to move to a different hosting company. And then maybe Mike disappears. Or maybe Mike and John stop being friends for some reason. Then John discovers something terrible. The domain isn't registered in his name. The hosting account isn't his either. He doesn't control the website. Mike does. Now, of course, this story is fictional, but situations like this happen every day. So the lesson is simple. If you don't control the domain, you don't fully possess the website. Always make sure the domain is registered in your name, you have access to the register account, you can renew the domain yourself, you can transfer it whenever you want, because actually your domain is digital real estate protected. Mistake number 3. Expecting visitors immediately. This mistake surprises almost everyone. You buy a domain, you build a website, you create some pages, you click publish, and then you wait. You wait for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, and nothing happens. No visitors, no customers, no sales. And many people think, maybe my website is not working. But here's the truth. A website is not like a shop in the middle of a street. It is rather like a shop in the middle of a desert. People won't magically discover it. You need to bring them there through search engines, through social media, through YouTube, through networking, through advertising. Use every platform at hand. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You have to take into account that building the website is just the first step. Getting people to visit it is a completely different challenge. And that's where many successful websites are made or just lost. Mistake number 4. Choosing a theme just because it looks pretty. This is a mistake many beginners make. They start looking for a WordPress theme. They find a demo website with many animations, sliding effects, video backgrounds which look cool, moving elements everywhere. And they think, whoa, that is exactly what I want. But here's the problem. You are looking at the website as a website owner. Your visitors will look at it as users. And users care about different things. So at this point, you have to start looking at your website through the eyes of a visitor. Visitors take care about speed, clarity, mobile usability, easy navigation. Most visitors don't go to your website just to admire animations. They want functionality. They want information. And they want it quickly. A theme can look amazing in a demo, but it can be a terrible choice. Before choosing a theme, ask yourself, is it fast? Does it work well in mobile devices? Is it regularly updated? Can I customize it easily without touching code? Will it still work properly within a year from now? In most cases, a simple, well-maintained theme will outperform any fancy theme with a lot of videos and animations. Remember, a website exists to help visitors achieve a goal, not just to impress them with fancy animations. Mistake number 5. Ignoring backups. Everything works perfectly in your website until one day it doesn't. A plugin update fails, a theme update breaks the layout, a file is deleted by mistake, and then your whole website stops working. Or something else just simply goes wrong. This is when backups become incredibly important. Now here's some good news. Some hosting companies create automatic backups for you. In fact, if you are using a good hosting company, chances are that backups are being made for you, perhaps without you even knowing it. But don't assume that's always enough. Before you need a backup, make sure you know how often backups are created, how long they are stored, how to restore them, and whether you can download to your hard disk your own copy of your backup, because a backup only helps if you actually can restore it successfully. Personally, I like having more than one backup whenever possible. Remember, backups are like insurance. You hope you'll never need them, but when something goes wrong, you'll be very, very glad they are there. Mistake number 6. Ignoring website speed. Many beginners never test their website's performance. They upload huge images straight from their phone. They install unnecessary plugins. They add animations, sliders, pop-ups, and video backgrounds. And then they wonder why visitors leave. And here's the problem. Visitors are impatient. Nowadays, people's attention span is very, very short. If a website feels slow, many people won't wait until it loads. They'll simply leave and visit a different website instead. Think about your own browsing habits. How often do you wait 10 or 15 seconds for a website page to load? Not very often, right? That's why a website load speed matters, and it matters a lot. The good news is that improving your website speed is most of the times easier than you think. Compress your images. Use only the plugins you really need. Choose a lightweight theme. Avoid unnecessary animations. And test your website regularly. You don't need the fastest website on the internet, but you do need a website that feels fast enough for your visitors. Because between two websites with similar information, the fastest one is the one that wins. Mistake number 7. Thinking the website is finished. This may be the biggest mistake of all. Many people spend weeks building a website. They choose a domain, they buy the hosting, they install WordPress, they create pages and menus, they publish everything, and they think, great, my website is finished. But that's not how successful websites work. In reality, launching your website is not the finish line. Much on the contrary, it is just the beginning. A successful website requires updates, new content, improvements, testing, and above all, marketing. Think about it this way. A website is not a brochure. It is not something you create and forget about it. A website is an asset. Unlike any asset, it needs maintenance and improvement over time. The websites that succeed are rarely the ones that were perfect from day one. They are the ones that kept improving month after month. So don't ask yourself, is my website finished? Ask yourself, what can I improve next? Because the launch of your website is not the end of the journey. It is just the beginning. If you are new to WordPress, here's the good news. Every website owner makes mistakes. In fact, most of the mistakes we discussed today are completely normal. The important thing is spotting them early and fixing them before they become real problems. And if there is one idea I'd like you to remember from this video is, building a website is easy. Building a successful business from your website is the real challenge. Anyone can install WordPress. Anyone can choose a theme. Anyone can publish a website. But creating a website that attracts visitors, that helps them with their problems and grows over time requires patience and a lot of effort. But creating a website that attracts visitors, helps them with their problems, and grows over time requires continuous improvement. So don't focus on creating the perfect website. Focus on improving your website every month. Now I'd like to hear from you. Which of these mistakes have you made yourself? Let me know in the comments below. And if you are interested in practical WordPress tutorials, website building tips, and creating websites that actually work, please consider subscribing. Also, if you are planning to build your first website and still need a hosting provider, I'll leave a hosting link in the description down below. It includes a discount and helps support the channel at no extra cost for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.